Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Thundercats Ultimates Captain Hammerhand. It only makes sense because we took a look-see at Captain Cracker yesterday. That said, much like Captain Cracker, this of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Super7, as well as my good buddy Evil Villain. Click the link in the description below. Head on over to his Instagram, give him a follow, let him know Overlord sent ya, because without him, this week of Thundercats Ultimates reviews may not have been possible. That said, these reviews are also because of contributors like you. Thank you. What the heck, this turned into PBS. Either way, that joke fell flat on its ass. Why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Captain Hammerhand has to offer in terms of accessories before I make an even bigger ass out of myself. Shall we? Let's. Starting off, he's got another freaking Hammerhand, doesn't he? What is going on with this? Like, I see the fingers, and then he's got like the, like a backhoe clamp on the bottom, and then he also has like a little cannon on the top. I'm not sure what all that's about, but it does have the in and out hinge there. But there you go. Comes with another Hammerhand, because one wasn't enough. He also comes with a trigger finger hand with the appropriate hinge for holding weapons. Thank you. And for that trigger finger hand, he does come with this teched out blunderbuss shotgun thing. She actually can hold. It's a pretty thick handle, that's what she said, but you can actually get this hand around that, so that is cool. I dig that quite a bit. That said, he does also have a claw hand with the appropriate hinge for a claw hand, and a grip hand with the inappropriate hinge for holding stuff. Goes in and out instead of up and down, but he does come with these little sacks of coins. He's got one here, and he's got another one here. And if his shotgun stored on him somewhere, I'd probably put this hand on instead, to be honest with you. That said, I did give Captain Cracker this little sack of coins, for those of you wondering. This did not come with him, obviously. That's why I'm showing it now, you simpleton. That said, he does also come with an alt head. Very Viking-looking head. Is it just me, or does he look more like a Viking than a pirate? I know Vikings are a type of pirate, but he's got horns. He's got like a braided beard. He's got a freaking ponytail. He does not look like a pirate, other than his pants. So, taking a closer look at Captain Hammerhand here. Very interesting character design. He's got this big old trap jaw arm on one side. And he's got this big old honking foot on the other. His name is Captain Hammerhand. Shouldn't he just have the hand and not this giant foot? That said, if he didn't have this giant foot, he'd probably be way less balanced. So, I guess, shout out to the giant foot. That said, as far as his articulation goes, his head will rotate. Look up and down a little bit, tilt a little bit. I think this is the open mouth head. This other one feels more closed. Doesn't feel as opened. Very little difference between the two, to be honest, other than the ponytail is more in on this one than the other one, which be careful with that. That's like a solid piece with the rest of the hair. You don't want to snap that off. Shoulders will go up. Pretty decent. Back down. He will rotate all the way around. He's got a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow, which a little tough to move. It does rotate. He does have a swivel and a hinge in his little fisticuff there. That said, this arm, same articulation as the other. You get the disc hinge in the shoulder. Very tight on that side. Rotation. You get a single jointed elbow. Probably not as much range, but it is there. He's got a bicep twist. And then he's got a swivel in the wrist with a hinge on his hammer hand. That said, he's got individual finger articulation. So you can open his hand up for various gestures and whatnot. And you can even have them, because I am mentally 5 years old and think this is still cool, you can have them flip you off. This big metal hand there, or, you know, something more appropriate, you can do the Ronnie James Dio Devil Horns there. Rest in peace. So, you know, you can have all kinds of fun with that. I was not expecting that from a Super 7 figure. Get the frick out of here. What I was expecting was a torso joint that didn't work. And like the Captain Cracker, his just kind of sits there and doesn't do much of crap. It just kind of wiggles. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. He clearly works out. Look at that yoked out six-pack abs there. He does have a waist twist. So he's the only one to move one way. Very odd. But okay then. His hips will kick out, back down, forward and back. He's got a thigh cut, single jointed knee. He does have a little bit of swivel below the knee because why put it in the boot? He's got a big old honking boot there and there, but instead of putting the boot cut in the boot, they put it below the knee. Because Brian Flim Flam is a senile sometimes and does stupid things like that, okay? Either way, we don't want to break up the skull, but we do want to give you the articulation. Well, then put it there! That said, he does have a hinge in the foot with a rocker and a peg hole at the bottom of his feet. But I don't think you're going to need it, because look at the size of this friggin' foot. He just stands, no matter what you do. I will say, his knees are a little weak in the knees there. Maybe he's happy to see his buddy Captain Cracker. I don't know. But either way, you do get the same articulation out of this leg, despite the fact you got a big old honking boot on this side. So that is your lot for Captain Hammerhand. A cool figure. Definitely looks like what it's supposed to look like, but again, has the typical Super 7-isms that hold him back just a smidge. But I think he's a little bit better than Captain Cracker. I think he's the superior of our two pirates, even though, again, he looks a little bit more like somebody who'd show up at an Amon Amarth concert. So, with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Captain Hammerhand, alongside another pirate from the Thundercats Ultimates line, Captain Cracker, and, not for nothing, Captain Cracker looks a lot more like a pirate than Hammerhand, who looks a little bit more like a Viking, but that's besides the point. That said, he also kind of looks like a lion, so we also have Lion-O, leader of the Thundercats, because if Panthro can triple dip in terms of being in the size comparisons this week, then so can Lion-O here. Also, still rocking that new sword from the Jaga figure. So, getting them out of here. And like Groon, Hammerhand's a little bit bigger, I think. At least he feels that way. But now that they're out of the way, we can bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulith. Maybe I should start a Men with Horned Helmets club. Him and Brother Mandibulus could definitely be a part of that. However, the infamous 11 Spawn will not be a part of that, but he does still happen to tower over everyone regardless. So, with that being said, it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and of our two pirate captains, is this guy a Viking? Either way, from the Super 7 Thundercats Ultimates line, I have to say that Captain Hammerhand here is the better of the two. Not only is he a little bit more stable because of that big old honking foot, but he is also a little bit more fun. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed posing this guy around for what little poses he can actually do with that big old honking foot and big old honking hand, hence the name. But yeah, I do enjoy this guy a little bit more, maybe even a lot more than Captain Cracker, who still excels as far as aesthetic goes, but as far as posability and durability as far as standing goes, not so much. This guy excels in both those things, which is what I want from my Super 7 Ultimates. Thank you very much. So, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.